All right, number 2 looks like almost the same problem, just different number. So we're not going to have to go back and do all of it again. The only thing that changed was instead of a -2, we have a -4. So probably need to look for a different one. But if we went through the process, we would get the same results, that this graph is symmetric with respect to the y-axis only. And so we'll just go ahead and select y-axis symmetry. What type of symmetry does an odd function have? Okay, so this is just referring to odd as the another way to refer to origin symmetry. So odd functions have origin symmetry. And then 4, we're given f of x is equal to 5x to the 6 plus 7 times the absolute value of x, and it wants us to find f of negative x. Okay. So f of x, the original, is equal to 5x to the 6th plus 7 times the absolute value of x. Okay, and so f of negative x would be equal to 5, and then the x, I'm going to make it negative, still raised to the 6th, 7, absolute value, negative x. Okay, so we're just replacing the x with the negative. If we do the math, so here, this is saying negative x times negative x 6 times. So if we did that, we're multiplying all of these together. And so what you would need to notice is that negative times a negative is a positive, negative times a negative is a positive, and negative times a negative is a positive. If you have an even power, this will always go back to being positive. And then earlier we showed you the process with the negative absolute value, absolute value of negative x, so on the inside. We would look at that as negative 1 times x in absolute value, and then you separate them, negative 1 times the absolute value of x, and eventually that ends up being positive because it becomes 1 times absolute value of x, which just gives you the absolute value of x. So that absolute value is going to come out positive as well. So when we simplify this, f of negative x is still equal to 5x to the 6th plus 7 times the absolute value of x. All right, and it says, is f of negative x equal to f of x? Okay, well, we can see f of x here, f of negative x here, they both equal, so we say yes. And then it says, is the function even, odd, or neither? So just based on having done this part, we can see that it's even. One thing that will also kind of give you some indication, if you look at your highest degree, that being an even number, tends to lean toward the function having even symmetry, but it does not necessarily mean that the function is going to be even. So just be careful. So if you were guessing, I would guess even. And if it was odd, I would guess odd, but sometimes there might be a shift or translation that moves the graph so that even though it has an even degree, it's not actually even. So you just have to be careful with those.